I'll just scratch the couch. Is this my first ever like sitting on the couch video? Okay, maybe not like ever, but in this apartment, yes. I have been living in my apartment for a little over a month by the time that I'm filming this and you're seeing this, and there's been a lot of common questions about the experience, and I feel like I have a lot of insights on what it was like moving, considering what is wrong with you? Considering I've done this about a handful of times now, I feel like I have some advice that I want to give you guys and answer a few questions that I've been getting very frequently, just so if you're moving out, if you just want some insight, or if you're just simply being nosy and just want to see what I have going on, whatever your reasoning is. I asked you guys on my spam account, Aaliyah After Hours, which is where I interact with you guys the most. First question, do you ever regret moving out at 18? I actually moved out when I was 18. I was a freshly turned 18-year-old. I moved in my own apartment 2 months after I turned 18. So in July, because I am a Gemini, May 29, mark your calendars, I turned 20 this year. So I moved by myself alone almost 2 whole years ago for the first time. And I don't say I would regret moving out, because I learned a lot about myself during that time, about myself, my content, my personality. The only thing I really do regret is where I lived and how I went about moving. It was just really messy, really unorganized. It didn't really go the way I wanted to. And I wasn't as tedious with my searching process, because at that point I was just like, I want to get out of here, so I am going to take whatever. And that was my first mistake. I lived in probably one of the worst apartment complexes in Greensboro, North Carolina, because that's where I moved for school at the time. And I definitely feel like I could have did my hunt a lot better, and it could have went a lot smoother than what it was, because I could have avoided a lot of stuff that occurred at that apartment. Constant chaos. Do you think it's best to live in a city that's out of your comfort zone? I think whatever is best is what works for you. If packing up everything you have and moving to a different city works for you and is what's best for you, do it. If staying in your hometown for a couple years and moving out is what works for you, then do it. If staying in your hometown your entire life is what works for you, do it. If you want to get out of your comfort zone in everyday life, sure, go up and move to a different city. I can't really say what's best, but what I do know what's best is whatever makes you happy. And if packing up your stuff and moving to a different city is what makes you happy, then go for it. Who am I to tell you not to? How do you find the motivation to clean up and make things look nice? I hate living in mess, and my place isn't always the most picked up or the most clean at times, but I do little things every day to just make it feel like it's a little bit more put together, so I don't lose my mind. So like, for example, if I fall asleep on the couch, I'll make sure I put up and fold up my blankets and put my pillow where it's supposed to go, like when I wake up the next morning. I wipe down my kitchen counter every single night with disinfecting wipes and bleach spray because it feels good. I run my dishwasher every night as well, just so I know that at least over there is clean. How do you keep up with chores and tasks? Besides willpower and motivation of not wanting to live in squalor, this isn't sponsored. I actually use this app called Sweepy. It has a list of like tasks that you can create that you can check in, and tells you when you need to clean stuff. So as you can see, I have like a list for my bedroom. It literally just tells you like the last time that you cleaned something up. It's to the point where you need to like get back to it and do what you need to do. So I have one for my bedroom, my bathroom. Some of these are outdated because I definitely just replaced the towels, but I try to fill this in as much as I can, just to like kind of get more of a visual sense of like the last time I cleaned something, because it marks the days in which you like did the thing. So I think it makes it a lot easier to track your chores and whatnot. How do you separate isolating yourself and just spending healthy time alone? Because I'm in college, I feel like I get the experience of going out and seeing people my age who are interested in stuff that I'm interested in. It makes it a little bit easier that I'm in school, that I actually go onto a campus for, versus like Zoom or something. But I spend actually a lot of time at home. I'm trying to force myself to get out more. I never really like isolate myself. I feel like the only time I really isolate myself is when I'm having an episode, which hasn't happened while I've been living here yet. I feel like I didn't really answer it well, but like I answered it, but like I don't know. Let me know if you have any like further explanation or question about that, because I'll answer it in the comments down below. Do you feel like you're under pressure since your parents aren't around to guide you? Still very like active in my life, and they still check up on me. They come visit me. I see them very often. I think I'm gonna see my parents at least once a week, especially since moving alone, since I have like the place to like host them and we have stuff to do around here. I really try my best to see them, and they try their best to text me and call me. I do that with all my siblings as well. They're not like those parents that are like, when I turned 18 it was like up and like, well, the rest is for you to figure out. No, like they're still very much like, if I need help, they'll help me. If I need like advice, they'll advise me in a way that seems appropriate. They're there for me, and like they're always gonna guide me no matter how old I get. How do you manage food? So I actually just did like a kind of grocery shopping vlog a couple weeks ago. It might have been a week ago today that this video is going up. And then I also, like about a month-ish half ago, I also did a what I eat in a week. And if you combine those two videos, you can kind of really tell my eating habits. And how do I manage it? I don't. I am really firm on, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it at that time. Like for example, if I don't feel like cooking dinner, I'm not. Okay, that's what frozen Trader Joe's meals are for. But I will say in 2022, I told myself I was gonna start trying one new recipe a week just so I can kind of broaden my taste buds and learn how to cook over time. Go on apps like Pinterest, Tasty, find new recipes. I never really forced myself to eat healthy because I feel like healthy eating is very subjective in a way. I find healthy eating to be a healthy relationship with food, and I feel like I have a very healthy relationship with food. I really don't try to like overeat healthy. As long as I have a healthy relationship with food, I feel like I eat healthy. Like, I'm not gonna have a green juice, but like I eat my vegetables, I drink water, I eat fruit. I have my protein in my chicken and peanut butter and shit that I eat. But I'm not like, ooh, let me stay strict on it. You know, like I've never been like that. I'm not about to start now just because I moved. I actually got this question a lot, but I only screenshotted it once. And it's, do you ever feel paranoid / scared because you live alone as a female? I never really get scared because I forgot who I was watching on YouTube, but they said I shouldn't let my paranoia or fear of like something happening to me get in the way of like experiencing certain stuff. So whenever I go out, I'm just like more aware of my surroundings. The only time I ever really like might feel paranoid is when I go out at night by myself, which is very rare. I'm not very much a night person. I'm very much in bed and sleep by like 10:30, 10 o'clock if I've had a very long day, but that rarely ever happens. So I guess you can say no, but on certain occasions maybe. Why did you move in by yourself and not with your boyfriend? I didn't want to. I feel like there's a lot of like chatter on YouTube about like couples moving in together like very soon. Me and my boyfriend haven't even been together for a year yet, and it's just not the right time for me personally, and I don't think it's the right time for him either because he's in the middle of a lease, so I wasn't about to like wait around. It's just not the right time. Whenever the time comes, it will come, but I'm not one of the girlies who moving in with the boyfriend 6 months in. I'm not doing that. Do you feel anxious about playing your music loud? The only time I play my music loudly is when I'm in the car. Not because I don't like loud music. I love listening to music blasted in the car. But when I'm at home, this is really like my sacred place. So I like things quiet, this, that, and the third. Like I rarely ever use my speaker. Whenever I use my speaker, y'all know like the volume thing on the phone, it rarely ever gets to half because that's all I can tolerate. Because loud noises now, like if I hear too many at one time or like something is just too loud, I get overstimulated and it freaks me out. Like I can't have loud music on 24/7. I can rarely ever do loud music period unless I'm in the car like I said because it just overstimulates me. Is it really hard to move with the dog? I have a pit and we're annoyed by the restrictions. So if you're thinking about getting a dog, I think a lot of people sometimes forget how long they have a dog and the things that come with the dog. It wasn't hard moving with Cashew because I feel like when you're looking for a pet, you need to keep in mind restrictions for animals because apartments do have restrictions on animals like breeds and stuff, and sometimes they just don't allow pets. And that was one of the first things that I thought of when I was getting a dog. If you don't have a pet, just keep them in mind because sometimes that will be the reason that, and it's very hard to hide dogs in apartments because you have to walk them. Some dogs are really heavy. Like upstairs, my neighbor has a really big dog and I hear the dog like playing all the time. And yeah, you just have to keep in mind like breed restrictions are a lot of the reasons a lot of people hide their dogs, but keep in mind potential eviction or just getting a dog that fits the breed restrictions. And I know pits and a lot of other dogs have a really bad negative connotation and we can only do so much about that, but you kind of have to keep in mind how your life is going to be affected if you get a dog or certain breeds or stuff like that. Does living alone have a budget? Living alone can have a budget. I don't live budget to budget. I live with self-control. Do you ever get lonely / bored being by yourself so much? I said this in my most recent week in my life, and there's always something to do around the house. Whether you think your chores are done and it's Sunday, it's like, damn, I got laundry to do. Because there's always something to do around the house and with work and with school. I'm never bored because there's always something I could be doing, like putting dishes away, washing them, reorganizing something because it looks like a mess. I could be folding laundry, ironing laundry, putting laundry away. Like there's just always something I could be doing. So I'm rarely ever bored here. Next question is actually about money, so we're gonna backtrack that way. How do you budget money for bills, car, rent, food, clothes, animals? My monthly charges, I can just go ahead and line up for you. I have rent, I have groceries, I have cars fully paid off, so I have water, gas, electricity. Pretty much it. I get paid between the 20th and 26th of every month from YouTube. First thing I always pay, credit card. Sometimes I'm feeling spicy, I'll pay rent early because I get $20 off. It really just depends on the month, but once like my requirements for like electricity, also I have Wi-Fi. I forgot about that. I'll pay for like my credit card statement, rent, electricity, Wi-Fi, fees, water, in that order because that's usually how they like roll in. And once that's done, I can really do what I want with the rest of my money. So I'll either just save it or like give myself a little bit more bucks to like eat out or like buy myself like clothes or something. What stuff should you absolutely buy before moving? A bed and not just a mattress. So your mattress and a bed frame and or platform, because I'm tired of seeing the girlies sleep on the floor their first couple nights. If you can avoid it, do so. Somewhere to sit, which is different from your bed. Pots, pans to cook. You need kitchenware and laundry stuff and cleaning stuff. Everything else kind of trickles in afterward. How much should you save for moving? So this is a hard question because it's based on the city. I live in North Carolina, Charlotte, best city. Any other city can kiss my ass. When it comes to saving money before moving, I would put away a couple thousand before moving. When you take into account furniture, decor, necessities like organization, bathroom stuff to just make your home feel like a home, it's a pretty penny. Now granted, you can do a lot of like decor shopping and furniture shopping on a budget, but between security deposits, furniture that's like a requirement, so couches, beds, bathroom, kitchen stuff, at least let's say $3,000 to $5,000. Okay, how's that for you? How do you mentally prepare yourself to live alone? When it comes to mentally preparing yourself for living alone is such like an odd experience to like try to mentally prepare yourself for, because it's so just like different. I really think the only thing you can do is just like prepare yourself for how many things are going to be put on you. So like for example, bills, how much you're going to be cleaning, how much you might be cooking. I think the only thing you can do is just like really prepare mentally for how much time that's going to take and how much is going to be put on you. Nobody wants to pay bills for the rest of their life. Nobody wants to clean for the rest of their life, but that's just some stuff that comes with moving out. How much did you save to move out, or how did you plan to save? So fun fact, I never save money with like an intention on what it's going to be used for. I just save money. So y'all know I'm a full-time content creator. I earn my money through stuff like Google AdSense, so how I get paid through YouTube, sponsorships, merchandise, When it comes to my monthly bills, what I use to pay for my monthly bills is my Google AdSense stream. Everything else straight to the savings. And I just save money because one, is the responsible thing to do, and two, you never know what can come up. Saving money can be used for trips, new furniture, shit. If I want a new car, I can go get a new car if I wanted to. So like I didn't have a specific number that I saved to move out. My savings account is just collective. Do you feel like living alone has boosted your productivity? 110%. Do you have any moments where you just get bored of being there alone? Never, and I probably never will. Was it hard living alone? Anything you miss about living with your parents? It's not hard, but I do miss my mom somehow being able to come up with something every night or every other night to eat for dinner. Is it stressful to think about bills every month? Does that ruin the experience? They don't stress me out at all, because I feel like I've set myself up when it comes to how much I pay for my stuff. I know no matter what, I can reach my bills, like all of them, start to finish, rent to grocery, water, everything in between. No matter what, I can pay for that because I'm so aware of how much it costs to live a month, live to be just me and cash you a month. So it doesn't really stress me out, doesn't ruin the experience at all. I've been loving your content lately. How would you say living alone affects you creatively? So thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are liking the content. Being somewhere that inspires me and somewhere I can be 100%, 110% my authentic self, and nobody can tell me like I'm doing like such and such wrong and like this, that, and the third. I definitely think just creatively I'm in such an accessible and inspiring space, and it's not based on my like location of my apartment. It's based on how I set myself up and how I make my apartment feel, if that makes sense. I can do that in any apartment, of course, but I think I picked such a good choice for my first like luxury apartment because I feel so inspired to be here, and it's just so inspiring that like I got here myself. So knowing that like I did that through my digital creation and creativity, it really just, it's like a domino effect, if that makes sense. Butterfly effect, that's what I meant to say. How do you decide what apartment you can afford to rent? I was always raised by my parents, especially my grandparents, saying that your rent should be no more than a third of your paycheck. That's what I was always told and raised to believe, to think, this, that, and the third. I set it up to where my apartment is no more than a third, shit, sometimes even a fourth of what I make in a month. Not only does that make so much more room for other bills as well, and coming with like a fluctuating job, it was kind of hard to like pinpoint that, but I know what I do make in a month with the bare minimum effort. So with that being said, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it very much. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I hope you guys stay after the moving series if you're new here. I would love if you stayed around. If you love my content now, you're definitely gonna love it after the fact. Yeah, make sure you guys follow my Instagrams, Twitter, TikTok, all will be linked down below. Sleepy Cashew and I will see you on Sunday. So bye everybody.